All right, so next one, the Dawnbringer, as I would call it. So in the words of the devs, we got passive effects that trigger on ultimates are no longer confined to the Arthurian tree, which was Pridwin, which was Fail Not, which was Mirrodin Staff, which was another one, Erendite. So no more on ultimates in that tree. We felt like this type of trigger has a lot more room for exploration, works especially well on Guardians and Warriors. Dawnbringer is warrior focused and can be used offensively to supercharge a backline dive or as a way to peel and assist your allies to counter a dive. So this is devs' words. This is where their thoughts were when they were making this item. So we're getting 40 physical power. That's on the lower end of physical power you're getting from a tier 3 item. You know, it's something, but it's not plus 60. It's on that lower end there. 300 health. That's a decent amount of health. That's more than most items are going to give you. And 20% crowd control reduction. So crowd control reduction is a stat that not a lot of people actually put a lot of thought into, but something that makes the game infinitely nicer when you're going against a team composition that has a lot of crowd control. As the name implies, if you're being crowd control and you have crowd control reduction, the amount of time that crowd control is applied to you is reduced. For ease of numbers, if you have 50% CCR, crowd control reduction, which I don't think you can get, but just for ease of numbers, and somebody does a 3-second mez on you, like a Kumbhakarna puts you to sleep, that's now a 1.5-second mez. So you cut the amount of time that you're crowd controlled in half, which feels good. Now 20% CCR, you cut the amount of time you're crowd controlled down by 20%. So if you're crowd controlled for 5 seconds on something, which is long, like you catch the very tail end of a big fucking huge Changa ult, instead of being down for 5 seconds, you're down for 4 seconds with just this measly little 20% crowd control reduction. But the passive on this is why I call this the Dawnbringer. When your ultimate has finished casting, your protections and movement speed are increased by 5% for each enemy god within 55 units of you for the next 6 seconds. Now, 55 units is the exact distance of a ranged auto attack. So it's a decent circle, right? It's a decent circle around you, but you have to use your ultimate in the middle of it all, okay? So this is a physical power item. You're not going to see this on Tiamat, unfortunately. This is... We're not going to see this on Guardians because there's physical power on it. So this is a warrior-specific feeling like kind of thing. Or some crazy assassins, maybe, if they're feeling sassy. But this is limited to people that purchase physical power. So when your ultimate's finished casting, your protections and movement speed are increased by 5%. Let's say you hit all 5 of them. Okay? So 25% movement speed increase and 25% protections. Not 25 protections, but 25% increased protections. So if you at least have 100 of each protection, that 25% increase is going to translate to 25 prots. Right? So if you have more than 100 prots of each kind, magical and physical, you're going to get more than a flat pin's worth amount of protections from that. That's going to be nice. Especially if you're a tanky warrior where that effect is going to be magnified. It's percent protections boost. So if you have 300 of each protections, you're going in the thickest, the tickest, big time tick time. It can only happen once every 30 seconds, but it also happens based on your ultimate. So I don't know that this limitation is anything more than just trying to make sure people don't spam this item in omnipotence. I don't know anybody that has a ultimate that comes up faster than a half a minute. But anyway, so the Dawnbringer. I could see Suitor using this, some high defense Suitor builds coming in just to really try and be a giant piece of shit into the backline. That's what I feel like this is for. Who else is a backline diver extraordinaire? Chalk. This is for Chalk. I want to see some Chalk ults. I want to see some Chalk ults. I want to see some goddamn Chalk ults with the Dartbringer. Show me a Dart Chalk Dawnbringer. Let me see this. Just a big, fat fucking Chalk ult.